recreational and competitive rowing. All the way from beginner all the way through. And they've got quite a lot of support here this weekend by the looks of their Twitter feed, which is great. And they'll be really pleased to see how well Sarah Lewis is doing here in this final of senior lightweight single sculls.
Right, the next race, which is underway now, Academic 8, Newcastle University and Oxford Brookes.
This has been one I've been looking forward to all day. So this race, Newcastle University, Oxford Brookes University, Newcastle, current holders of the Academic 8 trophy, which I can tell you is the Colgan Foundation Cup. And looking to retain it as Newcastle University and Oxford Brookes both set the record in their semi-finals.
The record was 4:55. Oxford Brookes went down in 4:54. Newcastle in 4:52. So again, there's very, very little to choose between these two.
And Newcastle have got the better start, which is, you know, good considering Oxford Brookes are usually very furious and very relentless off the start and like to get the upper hand off a crew in the first couple of 100 metres. But Newcastle, renowned for very high rating, very punchy, especially in the 8s as they come off the start. And I think it's about a canvas, maybe quarter of a length actually, to the crew from Newcastle University.
Yeah, Newcastle have just held that start a bit longer, haven't they? They're really punching it out. I don't know whether you want to put the race on this, but they really are sticking some strokes in there, and it's Newcastle ahead of Brookes. Brookes, bags of fight in the Brookes crew. They will not want to let them get away, but they are
38 in the Newcastle crew.
Ahead.
And Alex Lee has done such a good job this year. They've already had one win in senior 4s this morning that we've seen. So this is not the top 4 girls in this crew that they've got in Academic 8s. And they can't have anyone that won Academic 8s last year in the crew. So actually, this is almost a third set of athletes for Newcastle University.
So the questions then are, have Newcastle just gone out too hard, too fast? Can Brookes catch them? Brookes, when they passed us, were 3/4 of a boat length down. Now watch very carefully and see if Brookes, once they've settled into that race rhythm, whether they just have a little bit more boat speed that will just allow them to edge up on Newcastle. Newcastle, sitting ahead, will be very, very aware of where Brookes are. So they'll be able to respond to any challenge.
So Newcastle currently overrating Oxford Brookes by 2 pips. Newcastle, well, 1 pip actually. Newcastle up at 38, Oxford Brookes at 37. So a really high rating final we've got here in this Academic 8s final.
Well, one thing I'm pleased is that what we had yesterday with a lot of 8s races was the Coxes just trying to be a bit too clever and go for that middle station and get involved with a bit of knitting. We had a couple of clashes. One race was decided by a clash. The umpire let it go, and you know, the clash was in neutral water. The crew responsible put themselves out of the race. So it's really good to see a clean fight. Everybody likes to see a bit of knitting and that, but it's much better and much fairer to see this, which is a keenly contested race. Are Brookes
out? So we're
gaining or not?
I think they're holding. We're out of the boat racks now, so this is the final 500 metres, and I would not be surprised to see Brookes throw the kitchen sink at this. Well, that's all they've got left to do, really. They've got to do something. Newcastle, though, as I said, are already overrating them, so they've not really got far to go unless they go up into the 40s, which, again, they could. But I think Newcastle are now out at a length. And as I say, Alex Lee will be sitting watching his crew now as they power away ahead of Oxford Brookes, who, let's not forget, overall winners of the British University Championships across the boards. They were absolutely laden with medals, and here they are, Newcastle University, pushing their wake at them. It's, you know, Alex Lee will be absolutely chuffed with the performance of his Newcastle crew, and in this final, you know, special things can happen, and I think this Newcastle crew, hats off to them, because I think they've probably come here and to defend a title is unbelievable.
Okay, just to keep you posted what's happening here. So you've got the final of the 8s in the top right-hand corner, and we have the final of the senior single sculls. Laura Merridew, Reading Rowing Club, and Sarah Bowyer from Wallingford. That's on the screen on the left. That's very, very tight indeed. The single sculls course record 5:53, which is set by Laura Merridew. And looking here at that single sculling race, very, very tight indeed. A result I can give you
Of the senior
is
racing.
that the
Sorry.
senior lightweight single sculls for the Fiona Dennis Trophy it was a win for Susie Perry of Thames Rowing Club. The distance was 4 lengths. The time was 5:56,
New course record.
and it is a new course record.
We're going to get sick of
7
saying that.
seconds.
Oh,
By
7 seconds.
That
Gosh.
information provided by
Her auntie.
her auntie, who's absolutely proud as punch.
And I'm here.
Right, Camilla, what's happening in
What
this
have we
singles
got
race?
here? So we've got these two single sculls who actually I don't have an updated list to tell you who they are, but actually here we go. Sorry, my apologies. So
Oh no, it's this one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Laura Merridew on the Berkshire Station, Reading Rowing Club, Wallingford. Sarah Bowyer, Louise Bowyer, I think she's known as on the ground. I think she goes by another name. So this is currently Laura Merridew of Reading Rowing Club, leading by about a length. And I watched Sarah Bowyer, Louise Bowyer's semi-final, and she just doesn't even look like she's trying, but she's moving so quickly through the water. She's such a tall girl, and she can leave with the boat, and you can see her there. You know, it just looks like she's gliding forwards, and Merridew just looks like she's overrating her a little bit, and it's working for her as it stands at the moment. And Laura Merridew had a really tight semi-final where she actually had to row through the sculler from Durham University. So she did have to put in a bit of work in the semi-final. She's now sitting up on Wallingford Rowing Club's Louise Bowyer, and I think we're going to have to sort of watch to make sure that, again, it's only sort of sitting at 2 lengths at the moment, that Bowyer doesn't sort of wind up the rating in that last 500 metres. But Merridew does look pretty comfortable, and I think if a challenge was mounted, she'd probably be able to respond to it.
New course record again.
Right, to bring you up to date with the results, the Intermediate Academic 8s for the Colgan Foundation Cup, sponsored by Colgan Foundation, was a win for Newcastle University over Oxford Brookes, distance 1 1/4 lengths, and a new course record, 4:48. They are tumbling the records here.
We're gonna
Wonder why that is.
we're gonna look at the programme next year, and it's just gonna be like 2017, 2017, 2017. So people will look at that and think, oh, that must have been a good year.
And the present holder of this particular event's record is out in the lead at the moment by some, 2 lengths?
2 lengths, I'd say, probably. Which, again, I think it looks very comfortable. I would be very surprised if there was any big changes in this final.
That's the second time in the finals Newcastle Uni has set a new record. Look, they set a new record in that 4 as well.
Yeah, well, you were telling us how good Newcastle University are, and there you are. There's proof. 2 wins, 2 records. Fantastic stuff. So we're watching this final, senior single sculls. We've got junior single sculls next. Dooley of Agecroft, Campbell of Exeter University. Then it's the senior quads, which is Headington School. The youngsters, the schoolgirls up against Tideway Scullers School.
Yeah, that will be a great race, actually.
That'll be a great race.
I think that's one to put in the diary, because Tideway Scullers only just sort of led the whole way down their semi-final. Headington rode through Oxford Brookes to win theirs. So they're both really riled up, and I think ready for a good battle down that course. So I think that'll be a really tight race to look forward to today.
The junior single sculls, yeah, that's Dooley of Agecroft and
The Dialis Trophy.
Campbell.
Yes, of course, for the Dialis Trophy coming up next. You're right, and you know, good to remember.
Teeth in.
And there they are on the start line, and you know, as we mentioned, good. We've just had obviously a road pass for Beryl Crockford, but of course, you know, Dame Di sadly passed away just earlier on this month, and you know,
Fondly remembered.
very fondly remembered. Done a lot for the sport, and especially for women's rowing. And she was always a regular attendee here at Henley Women's Regatta, and you know, fantastic that she's got a trophy named after her. I think she has for a little while, actually. You know, this has been the Dame Di Ellis Trophy for quite some time, and probably even more pertinent this year than ever before, and a very special race for these two ladies to be involved in this junior single scull. And we've got Agecroft on the near side there, on the Berkshire station, and we've got Exeter University on the Buckinghamshire station.
Right.